Harper Wave and HarperAudio present The Deepest Map, the high-stakes race to chart the world's oceans, by Laura Trethewey, read by Gabra Zackman. A note before we begin. Don't forget to download the accompanying enhancement PDF from your audiobook provider, or go directly to www.harpercollins.com/pages/thedeepestmap. It contains a list of additional reading resources. To my mother, whose love is deeper than the Mariana Trench. Prologue. An ocean mapper once told me about a sponge that has shaken up his perspective on surveying the seafloor. Not some ordinary dish sponge, but a fantastic deep-sea sponge that is among the oldest life forms on Earth. He works aboard an exploration vessel, EV, called Nautilus, where he spends his days exploring the seafloor. Today, around a quarter of the seafloor is mapped, and less than 1% has been explored with remotely operated vehicles, ROVs, like the kind found on board Nautilus. The ROV is as big as a car and kitted out with sensors, headlamps, and video cameras, which was how Renato Kane first encountered that mind-altering sponge. Kane has worked aboard Nautilus for more than a decade now. He's seen a lot of dives in his time, watching as the ROV picks its way across the seafloor, sampling sediment, discovering new species, capturing incredible new animal behavior, skimming over shimmering hydrothermal vents, and zooming in on creatures hidden in deep-sea corals. Kane is lucky to have the job, and he knows it. But any task becomes routine after a while. Every so often, though, something snaps him out of the everyday and reveals a deeper purpose to exploring the seafloor. Like that sponge he saw at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. The off-white sponge that loomed up in front of Nautilus's ROV camera that day was gigantic, rivaling the size of the ROV itself. It must have been hundreds of years old, Kane suspected, maybe even 1,000. Deep-sea sponges grow at a glacial pace. One species, Monoraphis chunai, lives an estimated 11,000 years, sprouting spiky appendages 6 feet long. The reason for such astonishing longevity is still unclear, but many deep-sea animals reach an advanced age, so it might be an effect of the dark, cold, sparse conditions on the seafloor. Suddenly, Kane saw the sponge's unbelievably long life pass before his eyes. The animal, so often mistaken for a plant, had sat quietly in the same spot for centuries while wars raged, pandemics and prophets came and went, empires rose and fell, and had been in that spot, thousands of feet below the ocean's surface, knowing only dark, cold, still water its entire life. Insulated by the miles of ocean above, the life of a deep-sea sponge is incredibly stable compared to that of humans. It lives in utter darkness, at the same constant pressure and temperature, feeling barely a current in the sluggish waters of the deep. Until one day, when a big, bright, blinking machine sweeps in out of the darkness, peers at it, and moves on, leaving it swaying in the machine's wake. In that brief interaction, we humans are the aliens, visiting another world right here on Earth. The ROV moved on past the sponge. But Kane couldn't, preoccupied by how unique that moment had been. As the deep-sea explorer Sylvia Earle likes to say, drop a stone almost anywhere in the ocean, and it's likely to land in a place no human has been. That dive, and indeed all the dives that Kane had witnessed over his years on Nautilus, began to weigh on him heavily. Although all the dives are live-streamed and archived for posterity, the ship would never return to that spot again. Everything in the moment that you're seeing, it's never seen again, he told me. At the time, the two of us were sitting in Nautilus's data lab as we sailed up the coast of California.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?